We are on the home stretch and this is the second last wedding of the year. It's been an amazing year doing so many weddings, but at the same time, I am kind of ready to be done. This week's color palette is pink, orange, and white. It's a really large order again, so tomorrow I'm gonna have my helper Anna come on over and make sure that I can get everything done and keep my sanity intact, and then pickup is on Saturday. So I've already harvested a few things that I just didn't want anyone who was coming for my bouquet nights to harvest, and I would be like kind of upset about it. So I made sure I picked all that. It's safe in the fridge. As well, I have some peonies that I've stored in the fridge. After we harvest these flowers, I have to remember to set them out so they can open up in time for me to arrange with them. All right, let's go. So as you can see, I'm currently not harvesting flowers like I said I was gonna do, because a pair of somebodies needed a stroller ride. And why do I share this? Well, two reasons. For one, there's like a totally practical that probably the harvest sequence that I had planned is gonna happen this evening instead, when the hermit is back home, and then I have someone to watch them, because unfortunately our daycare lady has her holidays this week, so we have no daycare. And secondly, this is real life. I know there are lots of you who want to be flower farmers, who have little kids and are like, how do I do this all? What it's going to be like? And this is what it's like sometimes. Sometimes you go in to do something, you get completely and utterly derailed, and you have to pivot because our kids come first. They just do. So that's why sometimes, if you're ever wondering, like, why do you start cutting things so early or anything like that? It's because I know from experience that the odds of me being able to complete a task when I say I'm going to complete a task are low. So if I start early, then I build in some space for myself, you know? And then I don't have to be mad at my kids. I don't have to yell at them. It is just life. What do you want, little bug? You want back home? Okay, we can turn around. So if any of you are feeling like you can't do this because you have little kids, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. Babysitters and helpers with the actual work make a giant difference. If you can afford it, don't be an island, please, because it's really hard, but it is possible. So just hang in there. I mean, they do grow up eventually. If I wouldn't have a 10-year-old, I would find that very hard to believe. I remember when he was little, I would think like, he's gonna be 3 forever. This is gonna suck forever. It doesn't. They grow up and it gets better. I mean, unless you're one of the moms who really like the baby phase, then I guess it gets worse, but I am not a baby and toddler mom. For me, it gets better. Anyway, welcome to my little TED Talk. Thanks for coming. All right, definitely cutting it close for the time that I feel like I can safely harvest before it gets too hot and things get droopy. But I don't think there'll be a huge harvest. Kids have snacks, they're occupied. And if I can get this done in under half an hour, I think I'm safe without like them having toothpaste on the sink or spreading Nutella all over their bodies or some other crazy toddler shenanigans. So wish me luck. What are the odds this one would open fully by tomorrow? Probably slim to none, but it would be perfect. All right, wiggle test time. Nope, the Zinnia is not ready. Very sad. Let's see. Oh, everything's so short though. Even like, oh, that one's ready. So if you haven't heard of the wiggle test before with zinnias, basically you wiggle it, and if the stem stays straight, it's ready. But if the stem kind of flops around, not ready. And I find with zinnias, it can be really deceiving. Like something you think might not be ready, you do the wiggle test and oh, it's ready. And vice versa. So always do the wiggle test. I know this is silly, but it's literally almost kills me to cut this eucalyptus just because we've been on such a long journey together since Christmas, and now it's time. There, Isn't it beautiful? Saskatchewan grown silver dollar eucalyptus. This right here, this is a badge of honor. So I obviously didn't cut everything, just like the most ready stuff, but look how tall it is. This is definitely the best eucalyptus I've ever grown. Quite pleased with it. Morning friends, Friday morning, day before the wedding, and every single stem counts. Yet again, we are cutting it super close. So even though I harvested yesterday during the morning, yesterday at night, I'm gonna take one last peek and see if there is any surprises like these status that have maybe just blown open that tiny bit more during the evening. So thankfully, the thrips seem to have moved on from these cosmos, so I can actually use them again. This is very exciting. So this was actually a slightly better harvest than I expected, so feeling a little better that I think we'll make it. All right, we are all ready to go. Got the game plan written out so we both know where we're at and we can begin. So I think, again, because flowers are looking a little bit scarce, I'm gonna start with the bride's bouquet, set everything out, and then we'll do everything flowing from there with that big statement arrangement at the end. I'm a little terrified about that statement arrangement. I haven't done a lot of these before. Fortunately, I think I'm gonna have to use floral foam just because I haven't done them before, and I know that you can use the chicken wire and the moss, but again, I don't feel confident. I don't want to send somebody something that's gonna like wilt terribly because of my ineptitude on their wedding day. So I do feel a bit bad about it because, you know, floral foam is really terrible for the environment, and I've been trying to make my practices as better and best as I can, but I don't want the bride to be unhappy on our wedding day if I can help it. All right, it's your favorite part of the video where I go through the palette and tell you about what we're all working with today. So these are shades of the apricot status. We have white status. Managed to have 2 dahlias in the right color palette that are going to work out. This one's maybe a little more purple than I'd like, but beggars can't be choosers this year. As always, frosted explosion grass. It's not a bouquet by me. It doesn't have that FEG in it. We have some, I believe, some sunset potomics, some of the darker pink, and then we have a few of the ivory, some of those peonies that I saved, and those will open up as the day progresses. Then I saved all of my silver dollar eucalyptus for my bride, and then we have some asparagus fern, some of the white night sunflowers, as well as some hot biscuits amaranth, and I think this was part of like an autumn's touch mix or something. Yeah, I think this is a really pretty palette, and she'll be hopefully very happy with this. So I've got to confess, when I was in the middle of making this bouquet, there was a point, I was maybe a third of the way through, I was kind of looking at it and like, oh, I don't know if I like this. But now that it's done, I am in love. I'm pretty sure she's gonna love it too. I think this is basically what she was asking for. On to the next 5 bouquets. course, it wouldn't be an episode of Backyard Business without a storm while we're trying to arrange.
Mom,
I don't know how.
Yeah,
There's a storm. So I don't know how much you can tell in the background sound from here, but the wind's really picking up. There's a bit of thunder, clouds are ominous, and we still have a solid 4 bouquets to go. So let's see how fast I can do these because we don't want to be rained on. What do you think? What do you think? Are you dancing?
Yeah.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Well, so much for beating the rain. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if you can even hear me over this like completely roaring noise. It's raining so hard. Thank goodness we have the coveralls, so we are safe. But this is very, very interesting. The thunder is basically like right over top of us. There's just a huge crack. There's lightning. Just another ordinary day, right? So it's later in the day, as you can probably tell, and things have cleared off substantially. Basically all afternoon, it looked like it was going to rain or thunder or something. So just called it a day. And now I only have to do one more thing, which is that giant arrangement that I'm slightly terrified about. So I don't know. I cut my giant sunflower. I kind of waffled and was like, okay, I don't have a lot of orange. Do I just go buy something? Or do I try and just make it work? And I thought, you know what? Just cut the sunflower. The sunflower is orange. There's a few random snapdragons that I had sort of told myself were like emergency snapdragons. Well, it's a floral emergency. Wish me luck. Let's see how this goes. So this is my base, and it probably looks like a hot mess right now, which it sort of is, but I have a plan. Now we're gonna add some of that fern, and like the asparagus fern, and some corn stalks of all things. So now you should probably be able to start to kind of see the shape, where I'm going with this, but we're gonna add some more floof. We gotta have frosted explosion grass. All right, one last look before I finish it up. Still probably looks a bit like a hot mess, but it's getting the shape. I feel like I'm getting it. I'm really quickly losing light, so I'm gonna have to say goodnight to you guys, and we'll see you in the morning with the final reveal of everything I've done. Morning, YouTube. So Saturday morning, everything is done. I just finished up that big piece that I'm a little bit uncertain about, but I think it turned out beautifully. I've got the mechanics in place, and fingers crossed that it's exactly what my bride is looking for. So sorry I didn't record myself doing more of that big piece, but I've got to say, there are just times when filming yourself just makes you a little more scared and maybe not do your best work. And on something like this where I'm already feeling a little bit nervous about it, I really just want to do my best work and focus. So I finished without recording it. Sorry. Anyway, enough talking. I know you want to see the final reveal. So this is the piece. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Hopefully the bride likes it. I know that after doing this, I am 100% undercharging, so I will adjust my rates accordingly next year, but for now, so happy with it. Oh friends, I so wish I could have shared with you the bride's reaction when I came into her house and she opened the door and she saw what I was bringing. She was just over the moon. I've actually never gotten a hug from a bride before because she was so happy with my stuff. So what just a nice way to have this wedding, especially after last week's kind of disaster, but I mean it turned out okay in the end. Next month I will be relaunching my backyard business course, so if you are a first year flower farmer or you're thinking about flower farming, or maybe you've tried it like didn't go so well, watch for details. So I will be posting a video about kind of my year in review and then reopening the course for everybody who's interested. I'll leave some links in the description so you can kind of check out what's all involved. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.